morning, children. Today we can start our new chapter, that is System of Particles and Rotational Motion. Actually, this chapter it is a new concept for you people. Okay, so the System of Particles and Rotational Motion. So before going in detail to this chapter, first of all we want to discuss what is a particle. So a particle means a particle is a body which has a finite mass, but we are neglecting its size and that of the internal structure. There will be finite mass will be there for a particle, but we are not bothered or we are neglecting what is the size and that of the structure of that particle itself or that body itself. And then in this chapter we are going to use the term system number of times. The term system. So what is meant by a system means? System means actually that is a collection of particles itself. A system will consist number of particles. And then internal force. Internal force means that is actually the force between the particles in a system itself. First of all, we are considering a particle. A particle means that is a body which is having a finite mass, but we are not neglecting what is the size and that of the structure of that particle. And then a system means that is actually a collection of number of particles. This is particle. And now this is acting as a system. And next, what is internal force means? Internal force means actually that is the force of attraction or the repulsion. That means the force between the individual particle presented in the system. That is actually known as which force? The internal force itself. And then external force. Another one term we are using, it is external force. So what is external force means? External force is a force which one we are applying from outside to that body. That means this is actually a system. In that system, in between this particle of the system, there is an interaction, and that interactive force is actually known as the internal force itself. And then whenever we are applying a force on that system from outside, that force is actually known as what? External force itself. And then in the first part, that means in the first chapters, we studied about Newton's laws of motion, work, power, energy, different chapters. And then whenever we studied about that Newton's laws of motion, we applied that laws of motion to a particle or a single point charge, point mass itself, a point body. Am I right? So we can apply this Newton's laws to a particular body, a body of point mass. But whenever we are coming to a system like this, that means a system means that one consists number of particles at a time. So whenever we are coming to this system, that means a body which one contain a large number of particles in that one, how can you apply these Newton's laws and all, or that laws of motions and all to that extended body? Newton's laws of motions and all usually we are applying to a point mass or a point body, a point mass itself. We are considering two bodies of a particular mass M1 and M2 get separated. But here whenever we are considering a system of particles, each of the individual particle has its own mass M1, M2, M3, M4, etc. So under this situation, how can you apply these laws of motions and all as in the cases of an extended body means? For that one we want to discuss two important terms. First of all, what is a rigid body? So what is a rigid body means? That is a body which one consists number of particles and it has a finite size and the distance between the individual particles in that body will not vary whenever we are applying an external force on that system itself. This is an ideal concept. There will not be any body which is perfectly rigid. A rigid body means that one consists number of particles in that system, and the distance between that of the individual particles will not vary whenever we are applying an external force in this. But that is an ideal concept whenever we are considering a solid body or that is a rigid body. In that, whenever we are applying an external force, there comes a little variation in the size and shape of that body. That means there comes a difference in the distance between that two particles or particle presented in that one. But then also, in some cases, we can neglect that variation. That means we can consider that body, the concept as that of a rigid body itself. And then, as in the cases of this rigid body, we can consider an important term, center of mass. This is one of the important terms we people wanted to be familiar in this chapter. So, what is center of mass? Center of mass means, as in the cases of this system of particles, we know that in a system of particles, there will be the presence of number of particles will be there randomly distributed. And each of these individual particles mass m1, m2, m3 is actually constituting the total mass of this body M itself. This system, that means this rigid body, it is made up of number of individual particles of its own mass m1, m2, m3, etc. of Mn. And this is actually made this solid or that of this rigid body of total mass M. And suppose this is a body with mass M is equal to 10 kg. There is a point inside to this body where the whole mass of the body it is supposed to be get concentrated. And that point is actually known as center of mass. So what is center of mass of a body? Center of mass of a body means that is a point inside the body where the whole mass of that body it is supposed to be get concentrated itself. And that point is actually known as its center of mass itself. That is, for example, suppose you have a wooden block. A wooden block means it is made up of number of particles, wooden piece or wooden block. So if it is having a mass of 20 kg means there is a point inside this body where that 20 kg it is get concentrated. All the sum of the individual masses of this individual particle actually made its mass m is equal to 20 or m equal to 20 kg here. But that sum is get concentrated. There will be a point inside that body where the whole mass of that body it is supposed to be get concentrated. In most cases that will be at the center of that body. If the body it is symmetrical means that will be at the center of that body itself. And that point where the whole mass of the body it is supposed to be get concentrated is actually known as what? Center of mass of that body itself. Understood that concept? What is center of mass? Center of mass means that is actually the point inside the body, that is a point inside the body where the whole mass of the body it is supposed to be get concentrated itself. But that term, that is a point inside the body, that is not correct actually. That is, there are some cases in which the mass of the body it is supposed to be get concentrated outside that body also. The center of mass point location will vary with respect to change in the distribution of masses in that body itself. Whenever there comes a change in distribution of the mass of that body, there comes a change in the position or location of the mass. So suppose this is an extended body. So if we are trying to keep this duster on my finger at this position, it will not keep there. But if you are trying to keep that one by in the middle of that one, you can catch like this, or that body will come in equilibrium. Why? Because this is the point I hold, or I hold this duster on my finger at the position of its center of mass. So the center of mass position will be here as in the cases of this body. And and this is a scale, and we know that this is an extended body which is made up of number of particles. There will be a homogeneous distribution of the mass on this body. So whenever there is a homogeneous distribution of the mass is there, means the center of mass of that body will be in the midpoint. So whenever you are trying to keep this one on your finger in the end, that is not possible. From your practical effect itself, you people know that in order to catch that one on your finger, you people wanted to keep that one in the middle of that one, because that is the point where the whole mass of the body, it is supposed to be get concentrated itself. The whole weight of a body, it is supposed to be get concentrated. And in our body also there is a position where the entire mass of that body, it is supposed to be get concentrated. That is coming just below to the navel position. But whenever you are stretching your fingers or whenever you are changing the position of your body configuration, there comes a shifting in that one. That is the change in the when our body has a total mass, or not weight, total mass. Whenever we are considering total mass, it is not contributed by a single particle. It is contributed by a large number of particles present in our body. That means the flesh and that of the blood, whatever things it is present, skeleton, everything it is present, and it is made up of minute particles. So that whole mass of the body, it is supposed to be get concentrated at a particular point. The whole weight of a body, it is an effective point is there in our body. The same way for every objects. And that point where the whole mass of the body, it is supposed to be get concentrated based on a center of mass itself. And if the mass of the body, it is uniformly distributed, in most of the cases that will be in the midpoint of the body itself. So whenever we are considering a square body, or suppose we are considering a circular body like this, a clock. Clock means that is circular and it has a homogeneous distribution, and the center of mass of that body will be in the midpoint of that. And whenever you are considering a rectangular body, that means for example your mobile phone, the center of mass of that body will be in the midpoint of that. You can catch that one like that. And maybe people are usually doing one thing, so that is, if people are catching the ball on your finger, you can point the ball, a football or that of a volleyball on your finger. That is actually what you are doing. This, if you are catching that one along the center of mass. If mass is there, means this body has a weight also which is acting in the downward direction, mg. And if the weight of that body, it is acting along through the axis of your finger, this your finger will give a normal reaction in upward direction also. If mg is the weight which is acting in the downward direction, and equal normal reaction which is acting in the upward direction, and both of that one is acting along the same direction in the midpoint, which is through the center of mass, means you can hold that ball, football or that of a volleyball on your finger. Usually people are doing that is actually about or through that point, this center of mass of that body itself. Next, we want to come to the point of the motion or the movement. So, whenever we want to apply the Newton's laws of motions, other things to a rigid body, we are considering the center of mass. That is actually a particular point. So, at that point, that is as in the case of a rigid body, there will be a uniform distribution of the particle will be there, and the whole mass of that body, it is supposed to be get concentrated at a particular point. Means, in order to describe the laws of motion or in order to apply the laws of motions and all, we just want to focus on the movement or motion of the center of mass itself. Now need to consider the whole individual particle presented here. Whenever we are considering the individual particle presented and its motion, different particles will move with a different velocity at the same time. So, in order to study about the motion or movement of the rigid body, we want to consider the motion of what? We want to consider the movement of the motion of the center of mass of that body itself. Okay. So, next we want to study about the motion or movement of that center of mass. Means, suppose there is an inclined plane like this. An inclined plane. And when a body, a square body, if it is coming down like this through this inclined plane, it has only translational motion. It has only translational motion. What is meant by translational motion? Translation motion means straight line motion. But through this surface, if a spherical body it is coming down like this, what will happen? There are the presence of number of individual particles will be there when a sphere or spherical body which is coming down like this. Here the individual particle will move with different velocities, because here when a body, a spherical or that of a cylindrical or a circular body which is coming through this inclined plane like this, together with this translational motion there is an additional motion which is actually known as a rotational motion itself. We want to discuss about the rotational motion of the particles. Not only translational motion here, when a body of like this it is moving, it is actually getting rotated about a particular axis. For example, we know that whenever we are considering our ceiling fan, it is actually rotating about a particular axis, the point of suspension from the ceilings. And here this body, it is moving about an axis. There will be an axis, and about this axis actually this is ceiling fan, it is rotating like this. So for this rotational motion there is an axis actually. About this axis, that body it is rotating. But whenever we are coming into another type of body, for example the top, we know that whenever we are considering a top, when it starts to rotate, for a particular moment it will rotate about a particular point, axis. But after some time it will start to rotate in another one position. And this type of motion is actually known as precession. Here also this body it is moving about an axis but about a fixed point. Instead of considering the axis, we can consider the lower point of this top is at a particular position. About that one it is moving. For a particular instant it is moving like this, and when its speed decreases it will come down sometimes and it will again come back to its position. And this type of motion or rotation is actually known as precession. And as in the cases of the fan itself, whenever we are considering the ceiling fan, we know that when the wheels of that one it is rotating, at the same time it has a horizontal movement also like this. That is not about an axis, about a point it is actually moving. So all that bodies are actually extended type of bodies. So as in the cases of that extended type of bodies, whenever we are considering its motion, together with its translational motion, we want to consider which one also? We want to consider the rotational motion also. But whenever we are going to study in detail about this rotational motion, we want to study about the center of mass of a system of particle itself. How to find the center of mass of a system of particle itself. So we want to find the center of mass of a system of particles. So first of all we can consider the simplest system, that means a system of two particles. So we can consider the x and y axis. This is x axis. So first of all we can consider a body of mass m1 from the origin, which is lying at a distance x1 away from the origin. And then we can consider another one body of mass m2 from the origin, which is lying at a distance of x2. Then what is the position of center of mass of this system of these two particles? Means, no need to study the derivation, just the formula you people want to study it. The expression for the center of mass of this system of two particles is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by the total mass m1 plus m2. So, for a system of two particles, in order to calculate what is the center of mass of a system of two particles, the formula it is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2 itself. That is the formula to find the center of mass of a system of two particles itself, x center of mass position. And whenever you are considering the mass of these two particles, m1 is equal to m and m2 is also equal to m, what will be the position of this x center of mass? X center of mass will be changes to m x1 plus m x2 divided by m1 plus m2. That means m plus m. Therefore, here m is common factor, take it outside. Therefore, it becomes m x1 plus x2 divided by 2m. M and m cancel. Therefore, the position means that is x1 plus x2 divided by 2. That means at the midpoint between, whenever there is a system of two identical particles, the center of mass of that body means that is in the midpoint of that two particles. This is the position of the center of mass of that system of two identical particles. And the formula to find the center of mass of a system of two particles is x center of mass is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2 itself. Okay. And then, how can you extend this one to a system of three particles? Whenever there is a system of three particles, the formula to find the position of center of mass is x center of mass is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. So whenever you are considering a system of three identical particles, the position of the center of mass, x center of mass becomes m1 plus m2 plus m3, sorry, not m1, x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 2. This is as in the case when a body is lying along a line. When a body is placed on a line, a straight extended position. But whenever we are considering a body is placed in a plane, xy plane, when a body it is placed in an xy plane, that body will have not only a single position of center of mass. In order to, that is, when a body is placed in an xy plane here somewhere, this body or this system will have an x coordinate, and at the same time it has a y coordinate. That means x position called x center of mass position and the y center of position of mass will come. This is the situation whenever we are considering along a straight line. But when the object is placed in a plane, instead of writing x, there comes two coordinates, x coordinate and y coordinate. Therefore, in that case, in order to find the position of center of mass, you want to find the position of center of mass body along x-axis. So, for a system of two particles, if you are writing, that one become m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. And it has a y coordinate, position of center of mass, that is y center of mass, that become equal to m1 y1, mass of the body is same, position variable only we want to consider, x position and y position, y coordinate. Therefore, it become m1 y1 plus m2 y2 divided by m1 plus m2. And whenever we are considering in a space, you want to consider set center of mass also. Set center of mass become m1 z1 plus m2 Z2 plus M1 plus. Here we consider a system of two particles. But whenever you are extending this one to a system of n particles, how can you write this one? For a system of n particles. For a system of n particles, the position of center of mass, x center of mass is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus etc. of mn xn. For 3 particles we added 3. So for n1 it becomes, till n1 you want to add it, divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus etc. of mn. So in this case, m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus etc. of mn means that is the total mass of that body, capital M. Because here we are adding all the individual particles with mass m1, m2, m3 etc. of mn. Therefore that is total mass. And m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus etc. of mn xn it is going. And this one you can rewrite in another way by using the sign of summation, sigma. So here m is varying, therefore you can write that is mi. It is a variable. X is also varying, therefore you can write that is x of I. Sigma, you want to add it. Add it from where to where? From 1 to n to 1. Therefore it is varying from, I is varying from 1 to n. Whole divided by capital M. This is x center of mass. So when I is varying from 1 to n, then I took the value of 1, it becomes m1 x1. Plus when I took the value of 2, it becomes m2 x2. Plus when I took the value of 3, it becomes m3 i3 plus etc. of mn xn. So not only x center of mass, y center of mass also you can write in that way. Sigma I equal to 1 to n mi yi divided by m. And z center of mass, sigma I equal to 1 to n mi zi divided by m. So this is the first part about how to find or what is the expression for center of mass of a system of particles. So while discussing about the center of mass, we derive the expression of the center of mass of a body into the terms of the coordinates. Whenever we are considering the x, y and that of z coordinates, we find the expression for the center of mass of a body, x center of mass. That is the position of the center of mass. First of all, we derive the expression for position of center of mass of a system of two particles. And during that case, x center of mass expression we derived, and finally for a system of n particle we derived it. So whenever we derive that one for a system of n particle, we know that x center of mass means that is sigma mi of xi divided by n, where capital M stands for the total mass. And whenever we are considering the y coordinate of that center of mass in a plane, whenever we are considering a rigid body, it is in a plane, it has two components, one is x component and the other one is y component, and y component of center of mass become x of sigma mi yi divided by m. And z center of mass means that is equal to sigma mi zi divided by m. But in that chapter, motion in a plane, you people studied about vectors. So whenever we are considering the position of a particle, that means whenever we are considering a coordinate system x, y and that of z, the position of a rigid body with respect to the origin, we can represent with the help of a position vector r. R stands for position vector. So this R means that one consists of, it has x component, y component and z component, means we know that we can write the position of that ith particle whenever you are considering if there is a system in which there are the presence of number of particles are there, and when you are choosing an ith particle whose position vector it is Ri, you can write R is equal to xi into unit vector I. Xi stands for the ith particle of that system. So Ri, the position of that ith particle, position vector R is equal to xi into I plus yi into j plus zi into k. That is, next we are treating that one into the form of a vector, into the terms of the position vector. So position vector means it is a vector. It has three components: x component, y component, and that of z component. And I is the unit vector along x-axis, j is the unit vector along y-axis, and k is the unit vector along z-axis. So in that same way, for the center of mass also it has three components. Therefore, its position you can represent as R center of mass. R center of mass is x into unit vector I plus y into unit vector j plus z into unit vector k. So whenever you are treating this one like this, R center of mass means that is equal to sigma mi into xi plus divided by m plus m ith particle mi into yi into unit vector I will come here, into unit vector j will come here, plus mi into zi divided by capital M into unit vector k. So here sigma is common, 1 by m is common, write that one, and mi is also common. Therefore it becomes xi into unit vector I plus yi into unit vector j plus zi into unit vector k. Therefore it becomes sigma mi. What is this one? That is Ri. Therefore it is mi Ri divided by m. That is actually R center of mass into the terms of position vector. Okay. That is the expression for center of mass of a body into the terms of position vector, sigma mi Ri divided by m. This is as in the case of a system which one consists of n number of particles. But whenever we are considering an extended body, just to say mass into the form of a scale, the mass is homogeneously distributed, but there are enormous number of particles are there, and we can't count it, and it is difficult to locate the position of one particle. And in such a cases, what we are finding means we can find the position of the center. Now to find its center of mass, we will calculate the position of a small segment, a dm segment. Dm stands for, if it is having total mass is capital M, means first of all we can find what is the center of mass, position of this small element dm. And then in order to find the center of mass of this whole body, we are doing the process of integration. Integration means addition. Addition it is actually. But as into the terms of an extended body like this, we can calculate the position for a small one, and we are integrating that one from 0 to L like that we are doing. So in that situation, we can write the expression for R center of mass is, instead of sigma, it will come the sign for integration. Integral, not mi, we are considering a small segment dm, therefore it becomes dm, and we are integrating that one into Ri divided by capital M, total mass of the body, that is not varying. So position of a segment it is varying. And this one also you can write into the terms of the components. So whenever you are writing that one for x component, it becomes xi dm divided by m, it will come x center of mass, and y center of mass whenever you are calculating, that is yi of dm divided by m, position of ith particle, and zi means zi dm divided by capital M, like that it will come. And then while I discussed about the center of mass of a body, I said to you people, there are the position, the center of mass of the most of the bodies are actually its geometrical center. There are two types of center of masses. In one cases the center of mass is inside the body, but there are some other cases in which the center of mass is outside the body. So whenever we are considering a road, its center of mass is actually its geometrical center. Whenever you are considering a sphere, its center of mass is its geometrical center. And whenever you are considering a disc, its center of mass is at its center. But whenever you are considering a ring, and here everywhere the mass is uniformly distributed, but whenever you are considering a ring, its center of mass is also its geometrical center. That means actually it is outside point. All these points are actually inside the body, but here this is outside the body. Geometrical center of a ring in the middle point means that is actually not on the massive body. So this is one example. And in another way, suppose you are sitting and suppose you stretch your leg. Like this. In this situation, your center of mass is inside your body. But when you bend your leg like this, during that case, the center of mass is shifted to another one point outside that body. So there are different situations are there like that. That means the center of mass of a body becomes sometimes inside the body or outside that body itself. So today that is enough. So next class we can discuss numericals related with this section, which is very important. Okay, thank you.